Chess friends, this month, my YouTube channel has experienced a significant decline in views and daily subscribers, and I'm uncertain about the exact cause. However, I'm committed to giving my best effort to address this issue. I've decided to showcase one of the most remarkable chess game ever played between the new AlphaZero and Stockfish 16. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. Alpha started the game with c4, we have e6. Rather playing the top line d4, Alpha decided to play again court defense, knight f6 bishop g2, black can go with d5, let me show you the variation, white will sacrifice the pawn, then after queen a4 check, winning back the pawn, everything in the white position will be fit and fine, there is no serious issue. But in our game, my opening book played c5, after a couple of moves later we have d4. The pawn can be captured by two pieces, but if you dare to play any alternative move, let's say bishop b7, then white will push the d-pawn, take knight a5, e4, and that's it. White will enjoy a great center with c3 knight support while the a5 knight is located in a terrible position. So back to the position I played, c takes d4, takes bishop here, knight b5, I want to play bishop f4 to control the diagonal, knight c7 is a deadly threat there, so I played knight a5, bishop f4. Okay, if you dare to capture the bishop, to insecure the king, let me show you the variation, but knight c7 check will bombard your position, it's not knight takes rook, it's queen d6 check, which will be a checkmate. You can't live your life for other people, you've got to do what's right for you, even if it hurts some people you love. So in this position, we have rook c8 to protect it. Alpha did a bishop exchange, knight takes pawn to target it, rook shouldn't go in a8 because there is knight b5, which will create some source of problems in your queen side. For that reason I played rook takes pawn, knight d2 to target it, and look at my rook position, my general rook can't go any of these squares. If you say, what about rook c5? Oops, b4 to target to your rook, where should the rook go? If rook f5, then rook c1 will create a threat to throw a hydrogen bomb on c8, so back to the position, if you play rook to h5, then rook c1 will come anyway to make the terrific tactic. The king and his rest of pieces are not developed, so it's a very dangerous position for black. First they ignore you, then they ridicule you, and then they attack you and want to burn you, and then they build monuments to you. So back to the position, here I played my 4200 elo move, rook takes bishop, sacking the rook. Any normal player including Magnus would take the rook, but Alpha played rook c1 logically, bishop c5 to block it, b4 can't possible to move out the bishop, because the rook can take the pawn, so g takes rook, queen to b8, queen a4, protecting the rook and targeting the pawn. There is no immediate attacks of Alpha, but he is processing some natural threats, so after castle knight b5, if you dare to play h6, let me show you the variation, then e3 to block the bishop line, d5 b4, bishop backs, rook comes, getting the 7th rank and inviting his brother to join the party. In a couple of moves, white will play knight d4, a significant move to fork the pieces after solving the rook problem, knight e4, take rook to b7, sacrificing the rook in order to capture back the material and weakening the king side, so queen d8, rook d7, queen b8, knight to c6. Queen a8, and after doing queen exchanges, black will lose his material. This is the reason behind the powerful rook play. So chess friends, if you love my video, then you can comment and subscribe my channel. We have knight d5 to target it, knight f3, knight takes pawn, threatening to play knight takes e2 to win the rook, bishop takes f2 seems logical after rook takes c1, so rook to c2, h6 a3 f5, I declared that I will push my king army to make a strong combination of my structure, so Alpha responded with b4. I played knight h3 check first, if king g2 then queen f4 will come, king can't take the knight because of queen g4 mate, so after knight c3 queen check, king h1 knight takes check, you have to take the knight, bishop takes f2 and rook f6 g6 is a critical threat, which will create a checkmating threat on g2, so white has to defend it with knight d1, knight c5, you can't capture it because of queen takes queen, you may play queen a7 then knight e4 will come, the position will be totally dead lost for you. Queen h3 knight g3 check is a number one threat, it will lead into a checkmate. Instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create, so back to the position, Here we have e3 first, to control that square, blocking the diagonal, and knight h3 check can't possible now because queen can't land there, so after a few moves later, we have rook c1, queen a7 is a threat, to place the rook on c7 square by the knight to control the 7th rank, knight d6 knight to d5, targeting to the pawn, rook d8 knight c7, capturing the knight isn't the best move. Let me show you why. After rook takes knight, you will lose the d7 pawn and your structure combination, so black have the option to consider knight c4, sacrificing the knight to play b5. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, so back to the position, we have knight f6, queen b3 to pin the pawn, king h7, and now, AlphaZero performed his 4500 IQ and sacrificed his knight on e6, take knight fork on c6, queen ups takes, knight e4 rook to c8, sacrificing the rook on c8, in order to unguard the e4 knight and the pawn. So wish you all the best, thanks for watching, subscribe for more, bye bye, take care, see you soon.